Just to kick things off here, again, thank you everyone for joining. This is the Toyota Dealer Website Program, dealer.com webinar. Again, thanks everyone for joining. A couple of quick things to go over real quick. My name is Jamie Kent. I am with Shift Digital, and I'm working closely here with the Toyota team here in Plano, Texas. I'll be kind of hosting the meeting today. As we go through the presentation today, the team at dealer.com will be controlling it and presenting. Want to let everybody know that we are going to have everyone on mute with the exception of the presenter. So if you have questions, please use the chat functionality in the tool. The chat functionality will be visible by all of the presenters, myself and the dealer.com team, and we'll make sure we get to those questions. If time allows, we will do our best to open up the phone lines for questions, but these have been running a little bit on the long side. So if you have a question that you want answered on the call today, the best thing to do is to throw it in the chat tool when you think of it, because we don't know how much time we'll have here at the end. Beyond that, the other thing to keep in mind is that this presentation is being recorded. It is our intention to take either the one from this week or the one from next week, whichever one turns out to be the best presentation. We will put that up on the enrollment site. So it is being recorded, and we'll put it up on the enrollment site for anyone who wants to come back and check in at a later date. So beyond that, I'm going to turn it over to Colby and the rest of the dealer.com team, and away we go. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Jamie. Really appreciate the opportunity to get the time today. And I want to thank everyone on the phone for taking the time as well. It's an honor to be a part of this program, to partner with Toyota. We're very grateful for this opportunity to give dealers what we feel is one of the best opportunities of having a website that is customized, personalized, and what we think is one of the best platforms around. Some agenda items, just briefly. We're going to go over some of the new items that are on the list that you see out here right now, some of the newer things for dealer.com in 2019. I'm going to run through an actual live demo to talk about some of the features that we go over in the slides, and then we'll hit on the pricing and packaging on one of the last slides. And like Jamie mentioned, if we have some time after that, we'll open it up to questions. So this first slide just talks about the volume of websites that we handle here at dealer.com. Obviously, we're one of the larger providers in the space, been around for a long time, 15,000 live websites, 100 million BDP views a month, 38 million leads, 27 OEM partnerships. So this is something we're obviously familiar with. It's a program that we've been wanting to get into for a long time, so it's a great opportunity for us as a company to be a part of this. So when we talk about our new web platform, we're going to talk a lot about some of the things I think that slightly differentiate dealer.com from some of the other vendors or providers out there, and everyone does kind of things their own way. And when we talk about mobile first as a moniker for our company, what we really mean is we have a platform that is both responsive in nature and adaptive in nature as well, kind of a hybrid solution. I think as you guys as dealers have probably heard a lot about, responsive or server side. They're all very valid ways to build a platform. They all try to get at the same goal, which is to be able to serve shoppers in what is a multi-device world. So we have a way of doing this where we allow flexibility within our platform to really have some customizations that can be done on the mobile site. And that's why we have this kind of hybrid responsive server-side approach. There's many other large organizations out there that have a similar technology, Amazon, eBay. There was a big stir-up, years ago from Google about, they made a recommendation that, websites be responsive. When that was done, Google is ultimately making a recommendation for all websites on the internet. So they have to account for local plumbers' websites, painters' websites, and truly building an entirely responsive website platform is probably the easiest way to do that. And for a plumber or a painter, it makes a ton of sense. When we get into the automotive space, it's a little bit more complex. We have incentives, inventory, pricing, all these different things and we want to make sure that we give our dealers the ability to dictate an intentionally different experience on mobile, and that's why we do what we do. It's a non-factor from a rank perspective, but ultimately 80% of the engagement on mobile devices happens above the fold, so we want to make sure that we allow our customers or our clients the ability to dictate that real estate. So something I want to touch on, because it's been a large kind of project that we've worked on here at Dealer.com for the last couple of years, and it's really it's really starting to happen in mass migrations now, and that's our new architecture, which we call design system. So just to give a little context to one of the issues that we have with being such a large provider of websites is that over the course of time, we have ended up with all these OEM partnerships and retail websites with over 70 different website variations that exist in our let's call it our variation ecosystem. And over the course of time, when you have that many variations, when you go to roll out a new product and you try to be innovative, you have to account for 70 different website variations to regression test for all the new functionality, if it's a new widget, if it's a new slideshow, any of that sort of stuff. So we have built something called Design System, which works more as call it a parent-child relationship for styling items within the website. So although all our OEMs may have certain nuances and specific brand guidelines, fonts, and all that sort of stuff, there are common themes among all our websites, and that's like headers, footers, buttons, colors, fonts, that really are part of all websites. So what we've done is created a new way where all the styling elements of all our websites live in a global location, and as we make changes at that top parent level, they work their way down to the, let's call it the children variation. So I don't want to get overly technical with it. At the end of the day, what it means to a dealer, what it means to Toyota as our OEM partner is that we are able to get new functionality out quicker to our customers, and we'll talk about some of that in the demo today as I show you, some of the new designs and some of the new widgets that we've developed recently that will be available for you on the Dealer.com platform. So I do want to talk a little bit about some of the new designs we've developed. So within we'll call it our retail design editor, which is really what Toyota is somewhat a part of. We have now over 21 different designs that can be used. I think if you do the math and you break out all the colors, it's like 100,000 different color combinations, header combinations, footer combinations, and a few of these are brand new. If anyone was at NADA just recently, they saw some of the new homepage designs that we rolled out with. When I talk about these new designs, they're more than just new homepages. They're really a new way and a new level of configuration that we have for dealers that want to be, as we'll call them, power users that really want to leverage and do a lot of stuff on their own. We have a new levels of custom functionality, configurability that can be done at the page level rather than having to overwrite with CSS and kind of make this situation that is not ideal. So when we looked at some of these new designs, one of the first things we did is we did a bunch of UX research, and we in Burlington here have at our disposal a lot of we have a UX lab here, so we are able to get customers in, shoppers in, prospective shoppers in, and let them bang around on our websites. And we looked at 40 different home pages. We had about 90 different in-market shoppers, and we did a click scroll analysis of all these pages. One of the things when you're looking at new designs and home pages, it's very hard to put a quantitative data number as to, hey, this works better than that, because it's so unique to the person that's interacting with the website. If the person that's going to buy a car this weekend is obviously going to use your website different than someone that's 3 months out. So we really need to lean on qualitative data and what people actually tell us they like and don't like about a website. 3 of the real big takeaways that we saw were the importance of writing a value statement as a dealer very clearly on the homepage. So if that's an award that you've won, best service in New England, highest selling dealership in Vermont, whatever that is making that very clear. Also, people really liked high-level photography. We see dealers now using more and more drone footage or just actual imagery from the dealership that the shopper's going to end up visiting. We have the ability with some of our new pages on the website to be able to accept much higher resolution photography than we were historically, so we're able to let this happen. As you will see, one of the other, I guess probably the third main takeaway was what shoppers interacted with from what they would search with on the website. So we use a tool called search faceting. You'll see sometimes people can shop for vehicles with a free-form search or a faceted search. Faceted search is where it actually gives some guidance to the shopper, where it tells them what make, model, year, condition of the vehicle that's there, so that they would know exactly what to do. And people really like that. They like faceted search. Over the course of the next year, we are going to be doing some work to our free-form search capabilities here. But for right now, we saw people at like a 4-to-1 clip actually prefer faceted search. So very important that it's prioritized above the fold. We'll still use that term. You know, again, when I talk about guidance, I think of my mother using the website, and she wouldn't really even know what to put into a free-form search. So telling her that, hey, this is the make, this is the model, is it new or is it used, is very important to kind of guide her down the path to get her on the right place on the website. So a few of the newer designs that we just talked about that leverage some of the learnings from the UX studies, you can see here. When I get on the demo, you can see them as well. The one on the far left, we call it a collage design, where you can take imagery, and again, this isn't just new page designs. We are actually able to break up widgets into sections now. So historically, if you look at the design on the left side, that would have required a call to support, a ticket, and depending on some custom work that may be done on your site, it may still to some degree. But for the most part, you can go in there and edit the color, edit the pictures, change those out really easily. It's very, very user-friendly. If you look at the page in the middle, this is what we call our hero. So here we're leveraging really large photography. So there's a canned image there of this woman driving the car. I see that as a spot where you might put a picture of your dealership, and then you have a CTA widget right below there. In this case, it shows service and financing. You could change those out to whatever, and again, leverages very large images. The one on the right, the furthest one over, is for our dealers that don't necessarily have great imagery. So although we know that it's very important to have great imagery, not all dealers have the same level of resources to have some of that done. So for those that don't, we still want to be able to create a really modern and sleek design, and we're able to do that with what we call the shape layout. We have some new CTAs at the bottom of that. You can kind of see the gear. You can see a tag down there. Those can be changed out relatively easy, but you can kind of change very easily the shape of parts of the website and the gradient and the colors there to get some a real customized look and feel and a real modern and sleek design. So I want to talk quickly just about site speed. It's obviously very important. We hear about it all the time. We leverage a third-party content delivery network called Akamai. We've used them for years here. We're using more and more of their services, which include just different things that make the site load faster. So we're in the unique position of being in a lot of these OEM programs, like we mentioned. So oftentimes, there's third-party scripts, all sorts of stuff that run on our websites, which potentially can slow them down slightly. So we need to be mindful of everywhere where we can talk about shaving and being quicker from the fractions of a second, and that's really what we're talking about with page loads. When you look at most of the data of when people exit a page, there's a really short time frame where they'll kind of be patient and let the page load. So you look at things like Image Manager that Akamai uses, where it detects the user's device type and screen size and what kind of connection they're on and loads the appropriate images. You don't necessarily need the largest images. We have things like lazy loading. So when you look at most of our homepage designs, we have different widgets in there like model selectors. So for Toyota, you'd have a whole lineup of Camry, Corolla, RAV4, all these different vehicles. It's a lot of content within that widget, but it's not really necessary to load that when someone first comes to the web page. They actually need to go down and scroll, and once they start to interact with it, then we can fully load and render what that widget has. So they're just little things that you need to do Akamai is all over the place. They've been a great partner of ours, and we'll continue to use them. HTTPS is standard. It will be on all websites. It is on all websites with dealer.com right now. It's become more and more important. I think if you guys browse the internet and you start to look and see, different websites, Google's made it pretty clear when you're on an unsecure website, they really call it out. So there are certain products we have, digital retailing, Accelerate, where you absolutely have to have a secured page. So it's just important. It was a decision we made, a business decision, just to have all websites have this within the Toyota program. We're going to talk a little bit about the new vehicle deals page. So this has been something we went to NADA a while ago with it, and we're starting to now roll this out in some real quantity. It's a very important page on the website. It's also very complex with the amount of integrations and incentives and everything that happens there. So it's been a little bit slower for us, quite honestly, to get this out, but we're starting to get them out now. Just from a standpoint of why we focused on the VDP before anything else when we started to rework some of the different parts of our websites was just the sheer volume of people we were seeing coming to the VDP. And we already talked about homepages. Homepages are important. A lot of people do end up on the homepage during their visit, but quite a bit of traffic now with advertising that has deep links or direct links directly to VDPs. A lot of people are bypassing it. So when we looked at last month, we had 100 million VDP views. 60% of VDP sessions interact with photos. So it was important for us to focus on this first. So one of the new key features is just the ability for us to accept higher resolution photography. When we look at this VDP in a live environment, you'll see this. It's called a 2.5 grid photo display. So if you're taking nice pictures of your vehicles, we actually preview 2 full images and then a half, which kind of leads the user or the shopper to click in and see more of the actual vehicle images that are there. We use Akamai again, Image Manager in this, but this 2.5 grid is a totally different look for what we've done historically with the VDP. Digital retailing, so that's become a big component to the VDP, obviously. We have Accelerate digital retailing here. There's obviously a lot more website engagement when people interact with that tool. So one of the things we did with our DR tab, when we were actually doing some of the UX research as to what people liked or didn't like, is when they were scrolling down the VDP to get more information on highlighted features or just more information on the car, they would have to scroll back up to see the price again because it was nothing that was at the bottom of the page that indicated that. So we have a sticky tab now, so it actually follows the user down as they click down the page. It makes more sense in a live environment, but it was a huge UX ask that we executed on here. KBB reviews, obviously as part of Cox Automotive, KBB is a sister company of ours. They are one of the largest auto-endemic websites in the world. Incredible consumer confidence in that organization. So, one of the biggest shopper asks was they really wanted to have reviews directly on the page. KBB's as valid as they get. So we have found a way to incorporate that directly onto the page, regardless of whether you're using a subscription-based product with KBB. We integrate this directly into the page. We looked at the way we showed highlighted features. So on our current or old VDP, there was oftentimes you would see sometimes features that were very old would show up at the top. We've reweighted the way that we show some of those features to have more relevant ones come at the top, some of the newer feature functionality that may exist, whether it's safety or performance, rather than things like CD player or power windows, things that are commonplace for all vehicles in 2019. There is the way that we have the specs actually accordion style now for when you're on a mobile device. The way that it works on a current or old VDP is you oftentimes have to scroll way down because there's so many different specs that are on there. We did an accordion style so that if someone wants to interact with it, they can open up for more information. If they don't, it doesn't just go for this endless list on the page. So this was something new, this 360 spins. HomeNet, again, another Cox company, we've integrated with their product SnapLot 360. So if you as a dealer are using that product, we have the ability to integrate that on the VDP. We can take a look at this, but it's really cool functionality. So within the picture galleries, you can go in there and do 360 spins. If you have it, you can actually go inside the car, do spins in there. It's really, really cool functionality. I think, again, this is another one that it's taken us some time to integrate with some of our other partners here at Cox Automotive, but it's starting to happen now. You see it with KBB and Auto Trader from a media standpoint. More and more stuff's happening with Xtime. Here you see HomeNet. So, you know, I think we're going to see more and more of these as we go forward, but this is a really cool one that works really well with our VDP. So Specials Campaign Manager is our new content and creation hub that you have as a Toyota dealer and will have. This is where you create everything from homepage slides to banners for your VLP page to specials for your specials page. There's a ton of custom functionality within this tool that you can use. So over the course of the last year since we rolled this out, we've iterated on it and made it a lot better in terms of the level of editing functionality from filtering that you can use. You can change the background to all your images so not everyone looks the same. You can use a custom background. There's all sorts of newer and cooler things. There's an integration with Apple Wallet, so think for fixed operations, someone saves an oil change to their Apple Wallet, they'll be able to use that when they come visit you at the dealership. And one of the biggest releases we did with this product, we released, I think within about a month, last month, was group distribution. So in order to get to parity with our previous special content, we needed to be able to have large auto groups be able to send out assets to all their stores and not just one at a time, which is how it worked before. So now we have some group functionality, group distribution functionality that's really put this product to parity with our old, really beyond parity from a content standpoint. It's much better, but from a functionality standpoint, you know, we're going to be sunsetting the old technology relatively soon. So we're going to talk some about personalized shopping, what that really means in 2019. We have, at Dealer.com, have really committed to trying to create a custom experience for all shoppers that we have information on. I think that if anyone has used the internet anytime soon and used Amazon or Netflix, you see the level of personalization that they are using within their platform. So Amazon obviously has the ability to know what your transactional history is. So if you went to Amazon and you bought a bunch of golf clubs, the next time you came, they're going to be trying to sell you Titleist balls. If you went fishing, if you like ice fishing like some of us do here in Vermont, the next time you buy your little rod, you may have some lures that they're going to offer you as well. It makes perfect sense, right? And I think when we first started talking about giving people a customized experience based on information we knew about them, we thought it might spook them out a little bit, but it turns out that that's what people really want, because it makes their trip to the website much easier to navigate. So Netflix has been a huge pioneer in this as well. I mean, Netflix, if you guys use that, you'll see that they recommend what movies you like and may like based on what you've watched previously, and they assign an actual percentage to it. So, a 98% match, and they're pretty dead on with what they recommend. I know they are with me. When we look at some of the data, 86% of consumers have said personalization was important to them. About half of consumers spend more money when they get a personalized experience. 75% of customers or shoppers get frustrated with a non-customized website experience. So the public's really asking for that, and that's what our experience optimization product really delivers. And if you think about it, it really fulfills the need of you guys as dealers, because when we make recommendations, we are giving the shopper exactly what they're looking for, and most of the time with those recommendations, we give them a direct conduit to a VDP. And so we're getting them to places on the website where there's much higher propensity for them to convert. So really everyone wins in this case. And again, it's important in 2019 to be able to deliver that customized experience. When you actually talk what it actually means from a logistical standpoint on your website, so what are we able to actually optimize. So the first bullet point you'll see up there is where are we tracking information from? So if a shopper goes to AutoTrader or Kelley Blue Book, two of the largest auto endemics in the world, they get about 40 million unique shoppers a month, and some tier 1 websites that we have some tracking on as well, and visits to your website previously for return visitors. That's who we have information on. So we have a data handshake agreement with AutoTrader and Kelley Blue Book that when someone goes in there and they look at a Toyota Corolla, when they get to your website, even if they've never been there before, we're able to show them recommended inventory selections of Corollas. We're able to, the second bullet point down there, dynamic content targeting. We're able to switch out the homepage slides to show Corolla content first. The VLP banners automatically switch out to show Corollas, and the special pages automatically reorder to show Corollas first in a prioritized location. So if you think about this, if you guys are familiar at all with display advertising, which I'm sure you are, you hear a lot of people talk about behaviorally targeted display ads based on what people have engaged with online. We're essentially creating a behaviorally targeted website. It's really the same thing based on information we have on people. And I think the last bullet point there is probably the most important one as it within this product set. One of the issues when we first rolled this product out a year and a half ago was I gave the example of someone who shopped for a Corolla on KBB or AutoTrader and then came to your site. Well, in its infancy stage of this product, if you hadn't created assets for that Corolla, we had nothing to show them. We had one widget that would show some Corollas, but there was no slideshow. We needed dealers to create specials for every make and model that they represented in their inventory in order to cover ourselves for all possible, different user interactions. So what we created was what we call automated best available incentives. So now that same Corolla shopper that I keep talking about, if they come to the website, we automatically create that slide for you with the best incentive possible. So we have a whole algorithm and hierarchy of what we show. So we will show, best lease payment if we have that in the incentive feed. We will show highest cash stack if we have no lease payment. We will show lowest APR if we don't have that, so on and so forth, all the way down. That's not exactly how it works, but you get the idea. And it's all done on your behalf. So you don't have to set up any business rules. You don't have to set up all these, kind of intricate pricing logic. It just happens on its own, and it was really a game changer for this product when we were able to automate it, because a lot of what we're trying to do is make things more efficient for you as a dealer and an operator. The less you have to do, the better and the more time you have to sell cars. So that's kind of where we're moving with this product, and with all products really, is to make things as easy as possible for the dealer. This is just some data we had from an A/B test that we did with experience optimization. We pretty much we had 50 websites, high traffic volume websites, and we were able to get a group of about 30,000 people that we were able to test through that were all eligible to see a personalized experience, meaning that this group of people, 30,000 users, had either been to Kelley Blue Book, AutoTrader, or been to the dealer site previously, and they were coming back. We offered half of them our recommended vehicles widget, which showed the most relevant inventory based on what they had looked at already on the other sites. And then we showed the other half just a new arrival widget, which looks exactly the same as the recommended vehicles widget, only the results within that are just based on what we last received through the incentives feed. It has nothing to do, or the inventory feed, it has nothing to do with any personalized content. And we saw these lifts for those that were given a customized, personalized experience: 2.5 times higher click-through rates, 12% lift in inventory conversion, and then just a large amount of people that were actually eligible to see personalized content. So really good data. We've done a couple other just pilots with it, and the data is pretty much always about the same numbers. So definitely something that we are going to continue to go down that road. One of the other big changes to this product is we now have a report for it. So within Control Center under the Analytics tab, if you have experience optimization, you are able to toggle through a page setting to be able to see how the experience optimized, personalized traffic actually interacted with your website in comparison to those that weren't personalized. The numbers are pretty astounding with what we look at. It's not necessarily data that I think you can do a ton with proactively. I think it's more a validation of the product, but it also kind of leads down to the road of the recommended vehicles widget. It's just a widget within our website. It can be put on other pages. So if you guys are active in Site Builder and create custom pages for your website, you can add personalized elements to all these different pages, whether that's a banner at the top, the recommended vehicles widget. So you're creating more of this customized experience to more shoppers on the website. So again, we were asked for this for a long time. We had a lot of clients kind of holding off on this product until we had a report. It's here. It's going to continue to get better, and it's live now for anyone who uses this product. I'm going to talk really quickly about DR, just because I want to be able to show and demo some of the stuff we just talked about here. Digital retailing is obviously a very important component of a website these days. 52% more VDP views, 61% more page views. People are obviously on the site longer when you have DR because they're interacting with that tool. I can tell you, as we look forward to some of the product innovation for the back half of 2019 and into 2020, we're going to be looking to talk about all that personalization we just went over that exists now and how that works within the DR functionality. So it's going to be brief on that, but obviously an important component of this. Very important to have, I initially talked about our kind of adaptive server-side responsive blend. So one of what that gets you is the ability to go into Control Center within Composer and really do whatever you want to the mobile site and have it look completely different from your desktop if you want. There are many situations where dealers may be using video on desktop. Doesn't make sense to have that on mobile, so we have the ability to hide some of those widgets. There's other things that can be hidden. You can hide a slideshow because oftentimes slideshows look weird on mobile devices. So there's all sorts of different changes and nuances that you can make, and we'll continue to be able to. I want to hit on ADA compliance quickly. We've partnered with a third party called AudioEye. ADA compliance has become a real hot button issue. We have dealers that are facing litigation kind of out of nowhere on some of this stuff. In certain states, it's worse than others. You have, beyond just the legal component of this, it's something like 15% of the global population has some kind of disability, whether it's motor, vision, auditory, cognitive. There's a lot of people that need assistance. AudioEye just allows them to be able to use your website. There's certain dyslexic fonts that are available through this tool. And the difference between AudioEye and, it's very difficult for us to say, hey, listen, our website is out of the box. It could be maybe, it could easily be ADA compliant. Let's say it is. The issue is when we give our dealers all sorts of functionality to create different pages, things get edited. It's hard to remain ADA compliant, to continually check that, and that's what AudioEye really does. It's a managed service, so it's an ongoing. They check and make sure that the site is ADA compliant. Once you start the process with AudioEye for the site build, there's really no way that you can get sued. So there's all sorts of legal issues and what they cover within that, but they've been a great partner for us. I know some other vendors also use them as well. But again, I think the biggest thing between saying that our website platform is natively ADA compliant, it's really the ongoing service and management of that makes AudioEye a really special partner and really the best way that you can ensure that your website is compliant.
And we're really excited that we were able to partner with Toyota to ensure that as part of the new program, this is included in all packaging for every dealer who enrolls with us.
Great point. Thanks, Jason. Analytics. Control Center has been around for forever. It's called Envision. There's different reports in here: analyze traffic, analyze shoppers. You guys are probably familiar with this, and we're always adding to this. So, like I just mentioned, the experience optimization report. There's some other reports that are in the pipeline. Certainly, it's kind of a prerequisite for any website vendor to have this, but it's a great, very simplified way now to look at data from your website because it can get pretty cumbersome, as you know. So I'm going to jump in quickly here on a demo so I can show you some of the stuff that we've been talking about here. Let me go back one second. So you guys can see my So this is what I have open here. I'm actually going to close this out because I already have it open over here. Is a demo site called ROI Motors. We have one for all our OEM partners and retail accounts. It's basically a way to mimic what your dealer site would look like. And at the same time, I have the corresponding control center opened up, so the back end of the website, because I want to show you stuff for both the back end of the website and how some of the functionality that works on the front end. So the first thing I do want to show you is experience optimization and personalization, what we just talked about. So as I come to this website now, and this is a new feature functionality also of some of our new technology and our new index, new home pages. You see the website laid out here in this collage version. Down here you see a model selector. Down here you see some call to action widgets, and then some slides down here and some SEO content down at the bottom, some new widgets. But you don't see any recommended vehicles, and that's because I haven't interacted with the website at all now. And this is new for us, is we have hidden the ability to hide the recommendations until the person's actually engaged with the site, or been to Auto Trader or Kelley Blue Book. So once I start to go into the website and bang around a little bit, I'm going to look at a new 2019 Toyota Camry. Once I go into a VDP, we now obviously know what I'm looking at, what I'm interested in. So if I jumped off, I had to go back to work, think that I closed out the browser, but I come back now 3 days later after doing this. So as I come back on my homepage entrance, we will now see vehicles that you'll like, and we're going to show you Camrys right here. As we scroll, which you would see before, this was hidden. So it moved the model selector down and brought the recommended vehicles up here as well. As we go to the slideshow, if I had scrolled down a little quicker, you would see that I had the Camry lease offer of $219 right there. So these are the different parts of the website that are affected by personalization. If I continue to shop, we have what we call a navigation fragment over the pre-owned inventory. You can put it over the new inventory if you wanted to as well. So those recommendations are right here as well for all the different Camrys that we have here too. As I start to go in and look at inventory, we'll see up here that lease message is over here as well. Had I looked at a different vehicle, it would be a different vehicle up there. We've integrated this with our specials pages too, so I'm sure you guys are creating specials all the time. This here prioritizes it, so the Camry specials are all showing up here versus all the other specials you may have shown. So we're able to prioritize that. And again, I didn't create any of this stuff. I didn't go in beforehand and create this Camry asset. It was all done on the fly. You don't have to worry about it. However, if you want to, we still have functionality within our Specials Campaign Manager tool that you can create your own creative. If you want to have, if you have an ad agency or you're working with one of our managed services teams, you can have special creative, as long as it's built through our tool, that will also get personalized if you want a little bit of a different look. But we wanted to cover everyone so that we could always be serving that customized experience. So let's take this a step further, because I didn't really get into this on the demo, but I want to also talk about, I'm going to call it the conquest opportunity of what this product is and where I see it going forward. So we keep talking about Auto Trader and Kelley Blue Book and dealer website visits. We are doing more and more partnerships with other third parties like LiveRamp, where we're getting data from other parts of the internet as well. We're also working closer with our KBB teams out in Irvine about getting more cross-shopper behavior on individuals. So if you think of the conquest opportunity, we match up recommendations based on make, model, body style, MPG, price, all these different factors. But that means it's great to have someone that looked at a Camry to show them Camry, but what if they looked at a different vehicle? What if they looked at like a Honda CR-V? Are we able to show them the most comparable Toyota to that? And we are. And I think that's where this product takes the next step, because we know a lot of the data tells us that most shoppers don't know initially as they start their research process what exactly they might think they know what they want, but they end up switching all the time. So I'm actually going to try to open up an incognito window here so it's not tracking me, and I'm going to go to, I'm going to open the website, and I'm actually going to go to kelleybluebook.com. So let's say I'm a shopper. Everyone in my family's had Hondas forever. We just always get them. Makes sense for us. So I start to go on here and I look at cars for sale. I say, you know what, I want a new vehicle here. I do want a Honda, so let's go down here. Let's look at a Honda. I want an SUV, maybe a small SUV. Don't know exactly, but let's look at a CRV. So here's the CRVs, serving me up CRVs. We don't have a lot of people up here in northern Vermont, so there's not a ton of them. But as I scroll down the page, I see one I like down in Rutland, click on it, find out more information about the CRV, very interesting. Here's the mileage, here's some of the information. So sometime, that's a 60-day cookie that's dropped on my computer here. So let's say sometime in the next 3 weeks, I go, you know what, I really like some of the Toyota models too. My cousin just bought one. You know, I started with the CRV, but I do have a great local Toyota dealership here in Burlington, so I want to check that out too. So I go to the local Toyota dealer's website, even though I've never been there before or searched on any Toyota relevant content. As I flip these out, it's actually going to show me this CHR. So the materials that we have or the information we have actually say that this is the great matchup for people that are looking at CRVs. You can make the argument that a RAV4 might be better. It often can change slightly, but we're able to, even without me having looked at any Toyota materials, be able to show this. And again, all the different parts of the websites that automatically changed out. We looked at this page fragment showing me all these different CHRs. As I start to go to the specials page again, we will see the content that was there before with all the Camry content stuff that's now switched off to show RAV4, CHR. So really cool future stuff there because we don't know what people want. So yeah, again, it's great to get business that we'll say we already have, but when we start talking about getting business from other shoppers, it makes the product even more powerful. So I am going to get out of this window and go back into here. And I want to show you guys quickly just how easy it is to create a special. So I talked about, this was all automated here, but I want to talk about our new content and creation hub. So it lives in the promotions and media tab on the website, very easy to get into. Under this tab for specials campaign, I will create a special out of here. We have 5 different buckets that come out of here. There's vehicle specials, model specials, service parts, and event and other. Vehicle that's where you would do like your used cars out of. That's where you would also, if you wanted to do a special on one specific VIN, you would do it out of there. Models offers pull directly out of Incentives Manager. So if I go on to here and I wanted to create a special for 2019, all the different models that we have that Toyota represents are going to be on here, and I'd be able to go in here, and whatever incentive is pulled through there will also will display there automatically. It's taking a second to load here. So if I wanted to pick up a Corolla, I can see all the different incentives that we're receiving on these, and you would create it that way. What I'm going to do, just quickly, running out of time here, so if I want to create a service special, I can create a cash discount, % off, fixed price, no discount. I make the choice what I want, no discount, oil change. I can add whatever description I want here. If I want to put a disclaimer in here, 1 per customer, I could do that. I'd go to the next page here. We have a bunch of predefined imagery here for all different fixed operations that kind of make sense here. So if I'm doing an oil change, I would select that. Again, here we have the ability for, if you have your own service station, own imagery that you've taken of your service station, you would just drag and drop it right here, and you would just go on, add it there. I will just go ahead and select this oil change thing. I have some custom functionality I can work with here. What do I want the button on the special to appear as? I would add, you know, service now. Where do I want the click to go to? How long do I want it to go for? Where do I want it to show on the website? So I'm not going to actually publish that, but that's how easy it is. If I went back and looked at my service specials, you would see all these different ones that I changed already and created beforehand, but that's the same thing. So really easy to use. I want to show you very briefly the new VDP page. So we can look at it on this Forerunner here. So as you see, what I talked about before, the 2.5 grid. So the pictures up here, very it kind of leads the shopper into, here's this image, the second one, and then here's half of another one. So it leads them in to go in here and interact with all the different gallery. Again, we're accepting much higher resolution, much larger imagery, really cool, very different than the experience that we have now. As we scroll down, we now have color swatches for the different vehicles that are available. Didn't have that before. On the right side here, we talked about digital retailing. This is our Accelerate tool. When I talked about the sticky tab, so as I scroll down the page, if you look on the right side, you can see that it follows me down the page right here. And anytime I want to interact with it, I would just calculate the payment, and it takes me right back up there again. Highlighted features, again, we talked about changing out some of these, getting more modern in what we're going to do. And then also, as long as we're getting the package and option codes through the inventory feed, which we usually are from most of our clients, we can show all the add-ons. One of the big asks that we got from our UX studies was people want to know what different things cost. Sometimes the way it's broken out in the Monroney makes a lot of sense, but they don't know how to find that on this page. The accordion style button, so again, not that big a deal on desktop. When you talk about mobile, if someone wants to know about the warranty, they can just click down on it rather than have all the information for each one of these show on the entire page. And then one of the last parts here is the KBB reviews. So again, you get reviews directly integrated into the page, and it doesn't matter whether whether you have a KBB subscription or not. So that's the new VDP. I'm going to go back to the home page now. And I just want to show you some of the new functionality with the new index pages or the new home pages. So again, I'm on the back end of the website here, so when I go back in here, I'm now in Composer and I can edit the page. So the first thing I want to do is show you, historically it's been very hard for a dealer to configure some of these spots. They would usually need support, create a ticket, and we're trying to create less of that. So within this functionality in the edit page, I can go into the section preferences and I can start to change some of those here. So when I select this picture right here, say I don't want this picture of that woman right there, it highlights that as well, but I want to put something different in there. So within manufacturer, you'll have the media library, and we've added all sorts of tons of stock imagery to this tool. So everyone doesn't have that same woman right there. We have a lot of functionality there. You can add Toyota-specific imagery, but you could add some other just kind of common things that would make sense. So as I go through the graphics here, we're going to see dealership photos. Let's say I want to put a picture of my staff right there as a staff picture, and I want to add this. I would just click that. This is a dealer preference. I'll save it. And that's a picture. Okay, not a great image of this right here with this guy's head cut off, but you get the picture of what I'm getting at. I could have switched those out, changed these to Toyota images specifically. I want to talk about editing some of the shapes. So look at this inventory button. This is the search fast thing that I talked. Yeah.
Colby, I apologize for interrupting, but we did get a question that came in. Would you mind toggling between the desktop and mobile real quick through this so they can see a little bit more around how that functions through here?
In terms of in Composer?
Yeah, so you've got right over on the right-hand side, your desktop versus mobile.
Yep.
Exactly.
So, right, so you'll be able to go in here. So this is the mobile. Within here, you can edit the widgets and layouts just like you would on the desktop. And you have the ability to go in here and change some of these around on here. You can move things up, move them around. It's hard to get an idea within Composer because you're switching it, but you could add other widgets on here, bring them down here, move stuff in here, move it out. So it's really easy for that functionality and to change it on there. And I do want to show you quickly just the look and difference of desktop and mobile kind of out of the box, let's call it. So I have a third-party tool here where I'm actually going to show this in a mobile environment too. So as I enter this in here, we'll be able to see, on the right side you'll see the desktop, and as this loads here on the left, you'll be able to see how it looks on mobile. So you can see the out-of-the-box kind of way that it lays out is really clean and nice. The slides make sense the way they lay out there. But Jamie, I think you were specifically asking about mobile functionality and editing, and that's all right here. You can move stuff around. You can add a contact form, you could undo that, we could add some amenities, whatever you want to do. It's kind of this WYSIWYG technology, and what you see is what you get, and you can move all sorts of stuff around there.
Right, and you can easily optimize and have only certain widgets show on a device. That's a benefit of that server-side technology.
That is a big benefit. I should have touched that a little bit more. That's a huge benefit because, you know, we don't want to, again, video doesn't make sense on mobile devices, although it may look great on a desktop, and we don't want to be sending that sort of payload. Also, it can slow things down as well. So, great point. So as I cancel that, I just want to quickly show you guys when I go back in here, if I wanted to edit like the shape of this very easily, just to have my website look a little different from someone down the street, I'd be able to go right in here, go on to this inventory section, and there's a preference in here. So within this, if I want to move this to top right point, and I want to change the way that this looks. I save this, and as I reload the page, that easily I just change it so this new design is here. If I want to change the color, historically when you wanted to change the color on one of these things, you really had to edit the CSS, and it's just not a great way to use the page. So we've expanded the functionality to be able to do more in this environment rather than kind of edit CSS on top of the website. So if I wanted to change the color, I could go in here. All the different colors are listed here. This probably won't make sense what I'm changing it to, but I'll just do it, save it. And as the page loads, now you'll see it's a white there as well. As I change it on the live site. So I guess that's mostly what I wanted to show. There's some other, it's very easy to also change out all these widgets down here, but I want to make sure I leave enough time for Jason to kind of go over some of the pricing and packages. And if people want to take additional time later, we'd be glad to jump on the phone at another time and talk about this, but we want to leave time for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
all of this is available.
Jason, this is Jamie. If I could jump in real quick, because we do have a couple of questions in the chat window. So yeah, definitely want you to take some time on the packages and pricing, but we do want to leave a couple of minutes for some of the questions that are in the chat window. If so, just want to make you aware of that.
Outstanding. We'll go through this really quickly. So again, our base package, really strong offering. We touched on experience optimization earlier in this presentation. I think that's one of the highlights that's included in all packaging for us. Also want to touch on Audio Eye being available for all dealers. That's a really nice value add that Toyota's helped us put together. Additionally included in all packaging is the Toyota personal digital assistant, who adds that extra layer of support, can assist with some content creation, but again, just a really nice value add. Quickly to touch on differentiators between the packaging, when you go from base to core, you're able to step up. You get our site services, which is a reactive content management. So again, further assistance with basic site changes, uploading items to the website, really just helpful for dealers that may be a little bit lower on what they have for capacity for marketing assistance. Also adds in our full incentives manager and our full video packaging. When that leap comes up from core to Premier, you bring in all of our Accelerate Digital Retailing. You also bring in our premium SEO services where there's a dedicated SEO analyst. Also bring in content creative and photo overlays. So all very competitive packaging. And again, really excited to partner with Toyota Digital to put this together. So from there, we definitely want to.
Okay, thank you. And just want to make sure, I feel like we may have dropped off. Colby, hold on just a second. Colby, somehow you guys dropped off there for a second. Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So a couple of quick questions. So regarding mobile and speed time, how much faster load speeds are you expecting with the new platform for mobile?
I think that's a really hard question to answer because there's so many different variables that go into that question. It depends on the website, what kind of third parties are involved in that. And that's something I'd really want one of our engineers to probably answer. Jamie, if it's fair enough, we could circle back and send an email back out to you and get to the participant who's asking that question, because I don't want to say something that's incorrect. I don't know the exact answer of that. That's something that's specific.
I think that's totally fair. And everybody on the call, I did just copy and paste into the chat window for all participants, just kind of the info number, the TDDS program help desk number. If you follow up with anything, please let us know. A couple more quick questions. One of which I can actually tackle. The question is, are you able to display VIN-specific factory options packages on the SRP and the VDP pages, the dealer daily feed? So to be specific here for this program, one of the benefits is that for the first time ever, Toyota is making available that dealer daily feed, that same inventory feed that's powering Toyota.com, that's powering all of the Maruni labels, is also being made available to the website providers, and an integration is part of the requirements for this program. Now, how dealer.com specifically is going to display that content, I'll let the team here answer that. But as far as a benefit of this program, for the first time, those OEM inventory feeds are being made directly available to the website providers.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie.
And then
so if we continue through, I've got the chat.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, Jamie. I was going to say I've got the chat questions up too. I just want to quickly address. I see the one on, we quoted some stats on a higher conversion rate and a lift in inventory conversion in general. That was in relation to our experience optimization tool for a personalized experience. We're saying those are the benefits we see for a shopper who receives the personalized experience versus someone who receives simply an out-of-the-box website. So thank you.
Great. And so as we're coming up on the top of the hour here, rather than opening it up for calls, again, appreciate everyone being on the call. But Colby, if you can then scroll through those last few remaining chats. I think there was one, the VDPs, and how you handle VDPs with incentives.
That's the SR. No.
I'm seeing the one at the beginning where it was based on the...
There was a question here actually about VIN solution, VIN lens advantages for dealers that utilize VIN solutions. So that's integrated. It's another cost integration that we have. So someone's asking about the usability of VIN lens within the dealer.com platform. VIN lens is a great product. It's almost like somebody it's almost like a sales assist product for those that are familiar, and it does work as long as you have a dealer.com website and a VIN solution CRM.
Awesome.
I don't see. Let's see.
Yeah, Jamie, I'm not seeing any additional questions. If there's anything else, happy to answer them. Otherwise, certainly reach out to us. We're happy to answer any additional questions. Definitely reach out to the Toyota Digital team as well, and we're certainly in a close partnership. So anything that comes up, we're happy to assist and make sure that any questions are answered.
Yeah, we are really grateful for the opportunity to work with Toyota. It's an honor, and we're really happy and grateful to be part of this program.
Absolutely. And thank you all for your time today. We appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone as well as we wrap up here. I know that, like I said, there are a handful of additional questions, but as we're running out of time here, want to encourage you to reach out to your regions specifically. If you have some questions about timelines of when this program is going into effect, all of the different various timelines that we have, or other questions about some of the features and functionality that will be made available, please don't hesitate to reach out to the regions, reach out to the help desk. We'll be more than happy to try to get those questions answered for you. I want to thank everybody for attending today, and as just a friendly reminder, the enrollment site is the TDDSprogram.com. Make sure you go there, and there you should be able to select from the various providers and enroll. And other than that, hope everyone has a great day. Thanks so much.
Thank you.